Different kind of music on the public eye. It's midday on Wednesday. Today is the 27th of April. Hello and welcome to the Bridge Nation. The Jamaicans all over the world, the people who just jive with us, who understand the unique spirituality, the unique characteristics of this blessed land. Thanks so much for joining the Honorable Colonel Charles and myself on the Bridge 99 FM for today's edition of The Public Eye. Remember that your phone calls are welcome. The WhatsApp number is 876-551-5782 and the studio line is 876-676-4996. And because everybody's time is so precious and time zones are different all over the world where Jamaicans are, you can download the mobile app from the Android Play Store and the Apple Store. It's The Bridge 99 FM. Thanks so much for sharing with us. Later on in the program, Steve McDonald, Westmalite from Yard Market in Toronto, joins us. What's the story about the main line of export of Jamaican products, the availability of those things which the Jamaican American or the Jamaican Canadian palate yearns for? Is it available? Is it coming from us? What about the prices? How can we do more development of our rural sector by providing more for export? We send away the people easily, but do we send away the produce in sufficient and valuable quantity? Big questions, and of course all of the affairs of the nation in good discourse, coming from different perspectives, but with one passion for the future and the people of this country, the public eye, Colonel Charles and myself. So, Sir Colonel, all is well, sir?
Well, I think so. I feel well,
That's good.
the way you've been expressing yourself, you sound well.
Thank you very much.
I'm concerned about something you've just said.
Tell me.
Jamaicans. Jamaica has a serious problem in terms of training and retaining, because most of the Jamaicans who left here in the latter part, like a few years ago, they're all trained people. In the early 50s, there were people going to England to do all sorts of work.
Meaning working class work.
Working class.
Yeah.
But our professionals have gone.
So look
are going.
Yeah. So why?
Well, some jumping out of fire, jumping a frying pan. In other words, it is not better there. But they feel better. Some would like to come back, they're ashamed, and some are doing much better in terms of training children, training themselves.
So it's a better standard of living?
Yes, some of it.
Yes.
And for some it's not better.
No.
But the problem is that they can't come back.
Yes.
As easy as they left.
Yeah, and if they come back, they can't go back.
Well, they can go back,
very
but if they
difficult.
come back, there's a personality fear.
Clearly. But then now look at the history with me. Jamaicans have been exporting themselves for certainly 100 years. Now, why and more, 140, probably 100, close to 150 years. From the days of the Panama Canal to the cane cutting in Cuba.
Yes.
To the agricultural labor in the United States, to the post-war labor in the United Kingdom.
What is how we've been doing?
We've been exporting ourselves.
No. We were imported here for doing the same thing.
Yes, sir.
So it's a circulation.
All right.
We have to move on.
Okay.
For a better and a freer situation.
So then, is there a case for us to say that part of the Jamaican experience, should be to train people to work abroad? Because some of them, just to finish the sentence, many of them, as we know, as you have experienced and so have I, are never shake the dust off their feet. and they come back. When I look at the transactions, I practice as an attorney, and when I look at the property transactions that I see happening, it's a whole heap of people who live abroad who are investing in some of these high-rise and other investment opportunities here.
All right.
What's wrong?
Let me hold you and say to those in Canada,
Right.
those in the United States,
Yeah.
those in Britain, and those in other parts, even the Caribbean.
Indeed, sir.
Let me congratulate them and thank them for not forgetting
Indeed.
us. They have contributed, as I don't know in percentage, but based on what I can guess, it's a whole lot of what they have earned, they have invested in Jamaica,
Right.
both in family
Yeah.
and friends,
Yes.
and in their own resource.
Good.
Follow me? So, what is wrong with that?
Yeah.
When you listen to the Americans, some are talk about they make Israel fat,
Yeah.
so make some of the other
Sure.
where they come from.
Yeah. Whole of Southeast Asia benefiting from
They're
the
doing
exodus
great.
there to the
In
west.
England, India, the Indians
Sure.
are doing well for England.
Sure.
So we're not follow fashion. We are part of this.
A trend. Well,
It is an international trend. Now, when I walk into a hospital and see 5 nurses and 3 doctors, and hear that they're all from Nigeria, I say, why are you here? They say, well, we come to help you. Or, it's better here. Too many of us are there.
yeah.
And we don't want, all of us don't want to stay in England.
Sure.
So, it is an international
Okay,
thing.
but you began by pointing out that there is a deficit here when our nurses and our teachers go abroad in the numbers that they do. And let me tell you, the recruiters are still here.
Yeah, but I don't think the deficit is that. The deficit is our inability to have recognized this trend and how it could help us and created more, train more of our people that we could get what we want and the rest could.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question, what is stopping us doing that? That's what the Cubans do. The Cubans earn tremendous amount of foreign exchange, a lot of it from us. Because we, in our need, when there's a problem with nursing services, Dr. Tufton says, I'll try with Cuba.
Yes.
The eye surgeons out, just one instance.
Yes.
And what they do, of course, is the government collects the pay in foreign exchange.
They have a different collection process.
Indeed.
They have to pay to Cuba and Cuba pay them.
Pays them. Now, we don't do that.
So Cuba gets it, but no.
Cuba gets the benefit of the foreign exchange. Yeah.
Our farm workers,
yeah.
money come back to the government
Yeah.
of Jamaica,
Yeah.
and they get Jamaican money.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Well,
That's how our friend got into trouble.
Okay. Yes, I remember.
Yes.
Now, if that is the case, must we not be intentional about it? Must we not rearrange our educational system, our training numbers, the way the Heart Trust works, for example, in order to take into account that, in fact, probably half of those who are being trained are going to be looking to exit?
Well,
and how would you do that?
I'll tell you that we are quietly missing the boat, because it's a long time
Listen to that.
that we have seen the trend. When I was Minister of Labour, I went to Canada. The Mexicans were there with top diplomats.
Yeah.
Some of the Far East people, they were top diplomats, searching for jobs for their people and guiding their people into work there.
Yes, sir. So
we have a small liaison office.
No, sir. I would want the current Minister of Labour to be more abroad than here.
Well,
where he's beating the bush to say we are better than the Mexicans and the Filipinos and everybody else because we speak English, we are hardworking people, we are patient people, and we are flexible.
I told him that you were going to say that. And he said to me, tell Ronnie I'm having my first seminar.
Yes.
Because I'm not sending my word. The Jamaicans, as they are, I'm training them in a seminar that when they get there, they know they're going to go to a white manager.
Yeah.
He speaks differently.
Yeah. Sure.
And we have a portfolio as to what he expects of them.
Right.
And they are going to do it here. So when they land, they're ready just to start.
Indeed, that's excellent. But and that is a good step. I'm pleased to hear that. But what we have to do is to, since we are a derivative economy, because of our size and our location, yes, unhappy though I am about that, in its extreme form, let us consciously position ourselves to do that which the metropole who we need to deal with needs of us. And right now that is nurses, that is teachers, that is farm workers who are, as you say, properly contextualized to take up the job that they're doing there, and so on. This is a different concept of national development which we are running away from.
I think that there's a fear that some people say we continue in the slave mentality.
No, but in what way?
We're selling our people, which is stupid as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because we are opening the way, we are privileged that Canada has opened the way to send us them.
Yeah.
In fact, there's an advertisement in
Indeed, sir.
I heard it this
Yes.
week. You can get a job in Canada.
Yes.
These are agents in Jamaica. But they've been here.
Yes.
When I was minister, I had to stop some because they were selling the jobs.
Yes. No.
To the workers.
That's an abuse.
Right?
And you would deal with that.
But many agents are here.
But we are not training our people for that. I would like to hear an argument in Parliament where we said here is the potential for overseas employment. BPO workers, here is this. You're already in the system, but we need to advance it to meet artificial intelligence and all these other things. But if you come and take this course at Heart Trust, you will be qualified for a much higher level of service there or here.
Have I been told? Am I wrong?
Yes.
That I heard that the application forms have run out for Heart Trust and others. In other words, they don't have enough space for people who are applying
because
under the new thing.
It may well be, but if it is so, it is because the Heart Trust is not running the right way.
Well,
because
what do you think is wrong with
it? No, the concentration of the Heart Trust is to operate like a training school where you take in people and you train them. My suggestion, now I presided over that for a while, yes, but I used to have these discussions with the late Mr. Seaga, who was the founder of the Heart Trust. But my suggestion is that we should not do it that way anymore. We should do it, we should give the money to enterprise, to business, and say, you train the people. We will supervise the training. On-the-job training is much better than school training.
But hold on. As you said, that it touched a point in my brain.
Yes, sir.
That H.L. Shearer had started that.
Yes, sir.
And H.L. Shearer had said, take the money that you are sending to us.
The 3%.
To pay
yes, sir.
transportation and training for them.
Indeed, sir.
What has happened to that? What has your government done to that?
That the entire texture.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's not the entire texture of apprenticeship has been devalued in Jamaica. In place of having these academies and these proto schools, if you wish, in all of these various things, you need some of that. But that is the least of what you need. There's that wonderful place that that is run, JAGAS, the Jamaica German Automotive School.
Yeah.
Very important. You learn the theory there. Yes? But what you need to do, and what they do to some extent, but I don't believe sufficiently, is that every printer in every street garage in Kingston and wherever, yes, need to be in a process of hard certification.
Why don't we make a suggestion?
Yes.
That this program, in all the professions we are talking, is so important that it needs a ministry.
Well, you know, interesting. The man who is now the head of the Caribbean Examination Council, Dr. Wayne Wesley, was the head of the Heart Trust when I was serving. And he made a suggestion just before the election where the administration changed. He said, could you rename the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Education and Training? Yes?
Yes.
Which is halfway towards the separate ministry that you are speaking
Yes.
of. But
But if to take up what you are looking at in terms of training
Yes.
professionals
Yeah.
right across
Yeah.
the board, from farm worker to doctors,
Yeah.
to teachers,
Yeah.
to nurses,
Uh-huh.
right? To me, it's talking about thousands of people.
Indeed, and that's the system you need where everybody, hear me now, everybody is learning. Everybody is in some course of upliftment, no matter what you're doing. I once had a permanent secretary.
And
it was the happiest thing in my life because she was still in school, although she was at that level. Yes, she was doing a course in flower arrangement. That's wonderful.
And could I then say,
Mm-hmm.
that in carrying out this training program,
Yeah,
why are our school closing at 4:30?
exactly, sir.
We have
Exactly,
space,
sir.
the high schools.
Yes, sir.
Everybody,
Why
pick up them picnic and gone home
Yes,
at
sir.
4:35, and it don't open till 9 o'clock
Exactly,
tomorrow
sir.
morning.
Why do we have 4,000 people in prison, feeding them every day? Granted, they've done something wrong. And in terms of training them so that they can be useful citizens, even if you don't want to let them out ever again because what they've done is so terrible, which is a horrible thought. But anyway, yes, at least they can be put to work in order that they can earn their keep and reduce it. Why aren't we doing that? We used to do it, and we're not doing it now.
But did I tell you how frightened I was
Uh-huh.
when my son
Uh-huh.
was with our man from St. Mary, Warmington, the minister there, that is no longer there.
Montague.
Montague.
Uh-huh.
Pernell was...
Yes, he was Minister of State.
So I went to Rock River,
Uh-huh.
where I was asking for some assistance for school.
Uh-huh.
I saw and I counted 18 men in khaki
Uh-huh.
on top of the school, nailing down the school, working. So I said to the principal, which firm is that?
Mm-hmm.
He said, they are prisoners.
Good.
I said, what? Prisoners. He said, look at those two corners.
Uh-huh.
There were 4 policemen.
Yes.
He said that they were sent here by your son.
Sure. He's doing a good thing.
I said, but why? So I called him. I said, you get yourself in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose these men run away. He said, Daddy, not one will run away.
No.
Guess what? They get pay on Friday.
Of course.
When they go out and work,
So,
they send home money.
But you remember,
What? When we know all of these things,
yes, but
why are we not doing it?
because we have adopted a frame of mind and an ideology subsequent to that de-emphasizes, first of all, de-emphasizes constructive work and makes us feel that work is some kind of optional extra, and that the state, whether you're a prisoner or you're a pensioner, is supposed to feed you. And we have also disengaged our custodians, whether they be teachers or prison officers or ever policemen, yes, from the notion that this is a kind of activity that is going to really rehabilitate or advance people. But these are things that look at it. Pernell Charles, retired minister of a JLP government. Ronald Thwaites of the PNP government.
And I only retired from the profession, from working there, because I think I feel stronger now than when I was working
Look
there.
at that, I have no doubt. But the fact.
In other words, there are so many of us.
But we are talking.
But there's so many of us who are ready to go out and teach.
Well, granted that.
Take on the school in the evening and teach them.
I ask again, why isn't this kind of discussion that you and I are having about the constructive upskilling of labor, why is it not taking place in God knows?
Because I think God knows that we have 4 years. The one that Professor is in charge of, Wint.
Uh-huh.
What is that one? Is your friend?
His heart.
Heart.
Uh-huh.
We have some of these organizations
but they're not doing it either.
But
or not doing sufficiently.
at least the foundation is there that we can.
But then you want
expand.
to energize people and give them a sense of purpose, give them a sense of engagement, give them something to wake up every morning to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Just pause. Let me pause it. That's a big thing, in my interchange with the inner city, then and now. One of the main things that is very important in life is to be able to wake up in the morning, and feel a sense that you have something to do. Yeah.
Randy, why are you tempting me?
Well, I'm tempting you because I know your habit. Yeah. But it is very, very important if you not feel to get up, if you don't have something to do every day, what will happen to you? What are you going to do? One of the main problems that in the very Supreme Court now, let's tell our listeners, in the Supreme Court now, the Chief Justice is putting is sentencing these
Gang
yeah.
yes.
Each one is saying, everyone is saying, me never know my father, you know. Me know my father for one day. Yeah. So hold on now. Where if you grow up in a situation of fecklessness where there's no backup, there is no strength behind you as you grow, what are you likely to turn out? Well, we are seeing it, and these men are going to be sentenced on Monday to all 15, 20, 25 years. That means that the people of this country will be investing probably $50 million on each of them over that time in order for them to waste away. And then we think that we're on a progressive path.
Yeah, a man just called me to say, stop running and ask him, how many those men have sent to the grave?
Oh, many. But the point is, if you
so therefore, you're not saying they should not.
Hello.
We have to recognize that has happened and what we can do to prevent the thing to continue.
But if we are outraged that they've sent so many to the grave, which we should be, the right to life is the first right. Okay, then we are now going to invest $50 million to make them worse. That makes sense to you, Mr. Charles?
No, it
especially when that money coming out to your pocket.
It don't make sense to me, and it don't make sense to you neither. What I would do with some of them.
Well,
because you this color thing that you have here you won't cover up sometime. When a man kill.
Let's accept.
And rape her, and you tell me must send him to prison.
No, awful. You can't.
But you won't come with me.
No, I won't. Can't because I didn't give that.
Why you can't come with me?
No, because I didn't give that man life.
But him never give that woman life neither.
And the
law say if you take the life of a man, you're going to lose yours.
And the morals say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth will only mean that you have more blind people and toothless people. It doesn't work. You cannot murder with murder.
I'm sure Pesci is listening to you. that would have your blind people around here, have your teethless people.
That's all.
If you eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, because of Randy. But to get back to the point.
Yeah. So the point is we can do so many things that we're not doing. This is the infuriating fact.
There is so much space.
You and I can agree on so many things, albeit removed from the actual doing now. But what prevents at least a discussion, at least a pushing together?
You don't know what prevents it. You don't know what prevents it.
What prevents it?
Power.
Power is supposed to enable you. Power is not supposed to disable you, Pernell Charles.
The system don't put Ronnie and Pernell in the PNP and JLP or Mr. Holness and that.
Yeah.
That is not what it is. They want to take from the other one. They want to change. Me and you sit together. But the politics of Jamaica mean for you to do anything, you must have that cap.
So the system now, which we set up with Holy Pub, Wigan, Gownan.
Those we set up. We inherit.
We take it.
Yes, because we don't.
We take it. So that which we it's like take medicine. Yes. We're supposed to make you feel better, and it'll kill you, but you still take it. No, I don't know anybody could have so stupid. We're going to break. When we come back, Steve McDonald will join us. But beyond that, does Pernell Charles, for later discussion, recognize that the deep psychological political problem when Don Anderson's poll yesterday shows a decline of support for us to become a republic because people are so frustrated, so completely turned off in the prospects of us governing ourselves.
I said to myself last night, you're going to congratulate me today.
Am I?
Because I tell you, it's not going to work.
Well, you see,
I told it not going to work.
After the next
we have
interview.
too many bosses,
Yes.
right? And too many people calling what is to be done. It is not, and they're going to reach a state the frustration.
Yeah.
The major thing about this election business that you have to have, what do you call it?
Yeah. Referendum.
Referendum.
But then
You talk about low vote.
you and I are going to talk about prophecy when we come back later on the public eye.
Right,
Soon
sure.
come on the Bridge 99 FM. This is the Bridge 99 FM in Kingston, Jamaica. The Honorable Colonel Charles and I reaching out to Steve McDonald of Yard Market in Toronto. Steve, how are you?
I'm very well, and good afternoon to you and Sir Charles, and to the rest of Jamaica.
How are you, Steve?
Very well, thank you. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what you guys are doing down there with agricultural produce, man. You guys are importing things that we're supposed to be planting.
Before Ronnie tell you, we have a lot of problems. We have a drought problem. And when there's no drought, we have a water problem. Too much water and too much sun. Now, that's a major part of it. Major part.
Great.
The people who are in agriculture, mostly small farmers, the large, wealthy people who should be running this thing like a PSOJ business, they are not up front.
Right.
And so those two things, if we could have solved them, we'd have been well on our way coming to you with more products, maybe at cheaper price, and come to you in better conditions.
Sound like Pernell is making excuses, Steve.
May I admit
Yes, sir.
that I am making an excuse, and the reason I'm making an excuse is because there's no alternative than to saying it should have been done, why it has not been done, and Ronnie's going to tell us why it has not been done, because both me and him was there.
Yeah.
But but what is happening now? We have the now. So we have, how are we making provisions for the now? How are we making provisions that in the next 2-3 years we're not in the same position?
You see how quick you jump on Ronnie's side? But guess what, Steve?
Is he your side?
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. We have not been looking back and jumping forward with new ideas, new approach, and new challenges. We have not been doing that. Why? Because we have a power search. Not power search, search between those who should be doing it as to who going to wear the crown. And it is holding us back.
No, listen, the crown rusty. The crown moly right now. So we don't want
I
to
think we have an accountability problem too. We have an because how long have you guys heard that we have a water problem in St. Elizabeth? And what provisions have we put in place? I recently heard that there was a place that there's somewhere in India, and I haven't researched it yet, that haven't had water for 3 years, but they don't have a water problem because they've used different droughting methods.
Yes.
And there's so much technology. I recently saw something that where they're able to use some methodology to store water on each plant root that can reduce the amount of water that is required. And we know of Iran, what they're able to do without much water. So, we have an accountability problem in that the clock hasn't been working for almost 40 years. We get up every day surprised that the clock is not working.
Well, Mr. Samuel Down and Desmond Mackenzie have just called to say what they're doing, and Ronnie is going to tell you in terms of the water things that they're putting around the country. Come on, Ronnie, go ahead.
Well, there's a suggestion that the Essex Valley scheme in southern St. Elizabeth, if it gets off the ground, will be a very good one. And it should have, if we had done 10 acres or 100 acres of irrigated land every year for the last 20 years, we would have a food basket down there that would please Steve McDonald and his customers. The black tank,
the black tank program,
yes, is something that I hope
in areas where there is no pipe water.
Right. I remember the Cuban inspired microdam of the 70s, on where some of the things that I tried at the time benefited from that. So, but the truth is, Steve McDonald, that you and we, our voices crying in the wilderness. Jamaica is not looking for prosperity from agriculture.
But we talk about water. We saw what happened to Portland yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yes.
May I ask where all of that water is running to?
Into the Caribbean Sea.
Right, and then we have so much rainfall. May I ask where all of that water is running to?
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, these things aren't rocket science. The water that from our roadway is actually going to waste.
Yeah.
And so now we're importing something like avocado from Dominica, from DR. How can that make sense?
Well, this was what that particular advisement that you sent me, and we do ask you to repeat it for our listeners and for Purnell. But that was what shocked me and provoked me into this conversation today. Jamaica, land we love, is going to be importing pear, what we call pear, avocado, from the Dominican Republic. Is that so, and why?
That is based on, I can't say what the why is. Honestly, I can't say, because that is like me telling you I'm going to come from Toronto to Negril, but guess what I'm going to carry? I'm going to carry my own sand. Like, I can't tell you why the why is. The why is just baffling. And it's so this is the information that the Dominican Republic government has put out, which was as a result of the meeting that recently took place down there. I think it was about 2 to 3 weeks ago. My memory failed me on the exact time. So this is the information that was put out on their website. I haven't seen anything in the Jamaican website from any of our people. And they're saying, in addition to that, they are also going to bringing in other fruits and food items. Now, we're on a campaign to plant, 3 million trees? It would be interesting to see of that 3 million tree, the type of trees that are being planted, and if we have recognized that we have a problem in avocado. Some of those trees that we're going to plant, is it avocado? Like, connect the dots for me.
Well, see, let me tell you this. The gentleman has just pinched me to tell me. They are producing more plants now than ever. In fact...
Who's they, sir?
That's the Ministry of...
Agriculture?
Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
What's the place up there where they sell the plants?
They hope that the Jamaica Bauxite Institute.
You can't get plants. Farmers are out there seeking plants. My wife has just bought 100 plants from them. The point is that people are ready to plant now. We do have a problem because you plant now, and if you don't have any water, it won't go further than 2 months and die. You understand?
Sure.
We have a climatic problem.
But it's not insoluble.
It's not insoluble. But the persons who can do it are men like you, who can put out big wells and water the plant. Men like me, no. We have to wait for rainfall.
So there are a lot. I accept there are a lot of problems, but the fact is, sir, that there is there's not a significant enough coordinated effort.
There's not a public leadership that you're talking about.
Yes.
So, Sir Charles, let me put this another way to you, because we're now in the age of science and technology and so forth.
Right.
Now we can adapt different tree types, species, plants, to make it less vulnerable to disease, and also can be less vulnerable to droughts. Those are some of the things that Scientific Research Council could be looking at. We recognize that there is a change in climatic conditions. So what is it that we're doing to change our plans to adapt to the new environment? So this is where we have to tie in the whole STEM thing that we were talking about. We can't be talking in one end. We have it. We're operating in silos. If you realize, we have STEM over here. We're not tying it into our agriculture. We have rainfall. The water is running off on our road, is wasted, and then the next minute we're saying, "Oh, we don't have any water."
Yeah, but Steve, I think you're being unfair, and I tell you plain, because the shower of rain that came down on us in Portland last week may not come back for 2 years.
So that's why we need to hold on to the water.
Yeah, but we are not prepared for it. So we don't, but let me go back to what
absolute man.
Steve made a very good point. The water from the Blue Mountain. And I have to take some praise. I was the minister when we carried the water across St. Thomas into
Yala's pipeline.
Yala's pipeline.
Yes, good.
Now, why couldn't we have some of that water, millions and millions of gallons flowing?
We've been talking about that.
E.K. Powell of blessed memory.
Yes, he was.
Say, let us put in 1 mile per year. From Portland right across.
Through to Mahogany Vale. So what are we doing now? Not having done that, now Prime Minister is talking about it again, when it's going to cost $500 billion. Okay?
And if we don't do it now, it's going to cost $10 trillion.
Got you. But what are we doing, Mr. Pernell Childs and Mr. Steve McDonald? We're putting all of our capital, our accumulated savings, lawful money and dirty money, into high-rise apartment buildings, all of which need to have water supplies, okay? And where we have no additional water catchment for the corporate area of Jamaica.
We do running.
Where?
But that's why I'm saying we're operating in silos.
Right?
Mad people.
We have several.
We're operating in silos
in Kingston.
Yes, but we're not. First of all, the seal wells. I'm not disputing you. We're not activating them. And secondly, from my personal experience, because several of them were in the constituency that I represented. Yes. When you do open them, they're full of brackish water because the sewerage has been seeping into the aquifer. No, that is again part of the myopic, the short-sighted situation regarding public utilities, public works. No, I mean
So we have to call citizens, some of the technologists down here, to help us to cleanse the salt water, because Matalan said they have millions of gallons down there, brackish water.
Yes, sir.
And they couldn't brackish it.
So
where is the technology?
Well, there you are.
Sir Charles, I'll just open up the internet to you guys down there. The technology is there, but there's no interest. There's no accountability. Nobody has to do it. No. Remember, it was quite a few years ago that, if I remember correctly, Minister Pickersgill, under his regime, was actually given some money to put in some water system, and it wasn't used for that. But there was no accountability. And all of that, and we have continued to kick the ball down the road. And Sir Tweets rightly mentioned that if we have all of these high rises, and what if there is a fire? We don't even have adequate fire trucks to go up there.
No,
we're not saying as part of the building code that you guys are supposed to put in X amount of tanks on your. You can dig underground tanks, have X amount of water. Well, you have the runoff.
It gives me no pleasure to tell you that we're building multiple high-rise buildings on right on top of an earthquake fault. We're doing that right now, and we're considering this to be the most stush and popular and wonderful $50 and $60 million for one little studio apartment, but we cannot.
But Ronnie,
my God!
Don't say it as if it's everywhere, and don't say it as if you have any space to put 100 houses in Kingston.
Well, you do have that. Urban renewal is an absolute priority.
When you put up one building that have 40 rooms, but more than 40, let us say 80 rooms, that's 80 families, where you can build Even Central, if you run out all the people in Central, you can't build 40
you don't run out the people. What you do is
give them.
Not give them. You improve their capacity and allow them the financing to purchase it just like any other decent people. It's a class issue.
I like the way you say it, see, but I'm going to ask you to tell me, because I want to know, how do you improve their capacity to buy houses when they can't even find food?
So what you do is to ensure, A, that they get a decent education so they can read and write.
How many months it's going to take us to do?
No.
How many years?
Indeed, a great deal of time. We're wasting it right now. Or making some
efforts. We're not making a start.
Not a targeted start. Not sufficiently. There must be a tie-in between personal advancement and accessibility of things like jobs and housing. There is not right now.
Steve?
There needs to be a planned growth, though, in terms of what is happening. Because when I recently visited Havendale, and the Havendale that existed in 1990 is not the Havendale that existed now.
No.
And the density is a lot more, but nothing has, the infrastructure has barely improved. The hospital capacity hasn't improved. The police capacity hasn't improved. The road capacity hasn't improved. Right. So you have those issues, and at the same time, just coming back to the water problem that you mentioned, I think history has shown that the more trees that you have, the better it will be to produce water. But there's no green space in Havendale. There's no plan to say, okay, let's put in a park, and then this also ties into social development and what we're seeing right now. So there isn't anything like a community park that is there, or if you have X amount of people living. So we need to have more of a planned development. And if you want to say where do people go, move them back out into Cayman, coming back out onto Mandela Highway area. Plan communities.
Indeed, but big argument there. I'd like to, spend some time. First of all, let me make an admission. During my time in the inner city as a political representative, I recognize now that I made more than one, but a fundamental mistake. I should have concentrated on two related things: public cleansing and the establishment of mini parks within the inner city.
Well,
I never did, because I assumed that.
But Siaga did that over in West Kingston.
And if he did so, to his credit,
yeah.
People need places of release and recreation. Yes, and they do not exist in our inner cities largely. And also, public cleansing is so abysmally underfunded and underrespected by many people that the quality of life by those two affordable efforts would have made such a difference.
You leave out one point.
Which one?
Under education.
Well,
because half of the problem with public cleansing is because of people lack of education as to how to dispose.
Accepted that. But one could argue other things. Steve McConnell, in order to complete this conversation, give our listeners a status from your business perspective, of Jamaican, the availability, the demand, the pricing of Jamaican produce. Be a dreamer for us and tell us what you would want to see the Jamaican agricultural economy do so that you could make more money and the Jamaicans and others abroad who favor Jamaican food could be satisfied.
Well, in preparation for today, I actually just went to one of my supermarkets and did some quick checks. Yellow yam is $7 per pound.
$7 Canadian a pound. Hold on.
Yes,
and
breadfruit.
It's about, wait, no, don't go. Convert that for us, because it's about 130 to 1.
No, it's 150. 115. 150. Yeah, I forgot the exchange rate.
The US dollar is 155. The Canadian dollar last night was, I think, 129 or 130. I rounded to 130. Right. $7 a pound. So that's 7177 That's about $900. That's nearly $1,000. Jamaica listeners, nearly $1,000 for a pound of yellow yam.
Hold on, we're not too far. We're not too far. Hold on, stable into this.
Oi.
3 months ago, I went to Coronation Market to buy cabbage for myself and round leaf yam.
Yeah.
Cabbage was $80 a pound. I went there last week. It is $400 a pound.
So Jamaica people rise up.
350 to 400. The same thing for yam. Yam is $400 a pound.
You have no shackles but your own.
Yes,
So at the same time, Negro yam is $7 per pound, Dasheen $7 per pound, and cocoa $6 per pound. But I just want to give you some comparison. Similar to cocoa or Dasheen, I think more is a product called taro, which is from Mexico, which is $4. So it's a lot less in comparison to ours.
It's a starch.
And yes, and actually sweet potatoes was $5 per pound. Sweet potato that you can get from other countries are like $2 per pound, $3 per pound.
Yeah, but that sweet potato floco.
The taste is different. It's not as sweet, though they have a purple sweet potato, which is not bad from the other countries.
Yeah.
You also have a white yam from where is this from now? A white yam which is $3.99 per pound.
That's Panama.
Costa Rica.
Yes.
Costa Rica. Yeah. Usually at times it would come from Africa. And but what is happening is that, and I've just shared that price with you to let you know what is happening. That because we're actually pricing ourselves out to the marketplace, because I know that a lot of restaurants have now switched to this white yam because it's just so expensive to buy Jamaican produce. Because when you would have had just the Jamaican yellow yam or the yellow yam in a soup, now what they're doing is using quarter yellow yam, and then the remaining 3/4 is the white yam, just from a pricing perspective. So we have that. So product substitution is coming in a lot where we're concerned in terms of what is happening. But in terms of anything else, any produce that you can think of, you can export it. I saw products from as far as Morocco that were on the shelf. Sweet sop, sour sop, guinep.
Wow.
Plums. The only thing that I haven't seen here so far is Ethiopia apple, or OTT apple. I haven't seen much of that. But anything else in terms of fruits, it's here.
But let me ask you, Steve. The countries that those things are coming from, they have people in America just like how we have people in America. So whereas our people want round leaf from Trelawney, they don't mind getting guinea from their country in Panama. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So
because
if we were depending on our farmers and our country, we would have a problem. Because we can't
what
get
is
it.
happening right now is that we are the ones that are buying these guineps and
other people's produce.
And plums.
Yes.
Right, we're the ones who are buying these other produce because
who are our competitors?
We can't get it.
Yes.
Costa Rica,
Dominican
DR,
Republic.
yeah, and then you have African countries that are also stuff are also coming in from African countries. Avocado, Mexico have a good avocado product. It's actually smaller than ours.
Yes.
And it's one basically it's called one meal. In that you can just have it at one meal. So it's almost the size of your hand.
Yes.
So it's not as big as ours.
No.
And where we would do like a slice with that one, you can do half or you eat the whole thing, right? Yes. And that is something that I think we should try and get into because that is I think is a viable market. For the most part, a lot of people buy that over ours because one, it is more or less consistent that 99% of the time when you buy it, it's okay to eat. ours is a hit and miss in terms of sometimes it's fluxy. You have it fell, and you have a big part of it that you have to cut and throw away, spoil, and so forth. So it doesn't spoil as easy as ours. But even things like dasheen leaf, banana leaf, is being sold here. So, they're different, and I'm not even. And then you have the bark items, which go into the people of Chinese descent. They buy a lot for their teas and so forth. So I'm not. I don't know if our agricultural people actually come to like Toronto to see. I know New York has a similar marketplace in Miami to actually see what people are buying and get an idea as to what we can produce. And then go back to try to see how we can produce it.
Let me ask you, Steve. The products that are coming from other countries, they are coming to your country primarily because they have people there from their country? Or they're not coming because Jamaica have people there? In other words...
yes, go ahead.
In other words... Costa Rica has people, Mexico has people, and all of these people. So when they send the product, most of the product are bought by people from their country. Am I correct?
Well, you don't know.
I wouldn't say most because, to be honest, I don't see a large Mexican people, especially like in the let's say, if I can call it black areas or areas that we have a lot of Jamaicans. Even the West Indian store that I go into. It's mixed, yes, but a lot of people are buying. So, and people are buying more on price and on quality. And, so if they know that we Jamaicans now, we will buy the yellow yam. But if we're not able to cross over into the other markets because the yellow yam is more expensive.
But you yourself have answered the question because you've said that people like you end up buying stuff from other countries.
Because you can't get it from here.
Well, this is it. Yep. And also we have, we like to believe, and I think the history shows that our products properly available and reasonably priced have a crossover appeal.
Oh yeah,
it does, and it has a higher price appeal too. Because a lot of times you will see, like yesterday, I saw avocado pear, and it was labeled Caribbean avocado, but when you look at the tag, it says Jamaican avocado.
Really?
But the tag on the actual product is Caribbean. So you don't know where in the Caribbean it's from. And I know that Jamaica products, they actually stamp Jamaica on it.
Okay.
So you can definitely see, and there are times where you see Jamaican pumpkin from Costa Rica.
Oh.
So all of that is there.
Well, the fact that I used to complain about that, and indeed was an activist for that kind of trade, truth in trade, in labeling. But frankly, Pernell has persuaded me that once it have Jamaican on it, yes,
we're maintaining
a brand.
Well, so when we have pumpkin to overflow.
Except we don't have it yet, and we now go have it.
But you soon get it?
No.
What do you mean?
No, we are. Hello, gentlemen, listeners. What the story of and the meaning of what Steve McDonald is telling us today, and it's not the first time, is that we are responsible for our own poverty.
And we are not producing several.
Which is why we
get us out of the poverty.
We are responsible. We can produce. Yes, and we are not producing, and therefore we are foregoing the revenue that could make people have a decent life in this country and not want to run away.
Can I ask you, Steve?
Oh my God!
Can I ask you, Steve? Here, is it that we are not properly investing, or the proper persons who have the funds available or can get the funds are not investing in these products?
You love have a problem for every solution, eh?
Me?
Well, just to answer, just
Steve, you are the man say, he said, I have a solution for every problem.
But just to quickly comment on keeping the brand name out there, I think that is true. That's good and bad in some instances, because what you end up happening while the brand name is out there, you actually end up watering down. You actually end up watering down the taste or changing the taste over time, And what I mean by that, and we saw that with the Jamaican coffee that went to Japan, in that they started to add other products to it.
Yeah.
And then so the marketplace became accustomed to another taste.
Yes.
Now, when you have Jamaican pumpkin from Costa Rica, they're thinking Jamaican, right? And they get accustomed to this, let me call it watered down taste, or this different taste. And then when the actual Jamaican pumpkin comes out at a much higher price, they're not willing to pay that higher price for that taste, because they have gotten accustomed to this. And that's what actually happened to us with the Jamaican coffee. People got accustomed, the market, the consumers got accustomed to a different taste.
A diluted taste. Yes.
So we have to be very careful where that is concerned.
But where is it? Where is the overall plan? Where is it that we are grasping? And I'm making a broad political economic point. Where are we grasping this and saying, look, now this is what we're facing. This is how we're going to respond to it. This is how we're going to produce for it. This is where the resources, the credit, etc. is coming from. Because one of the big obstacles that Pernell hasn't mentioned, but I know he acknowledges, is that you cannot get agricultural credit. You cannot get money to plant anything in Jamaica, sir.
Is it because they know that storm may come, or
all the risks is
sun may
of
come,
course, all of those things.
Yeah.
But then, at the end of the day, we end up having spending nearly $2 billion plus a year on importing stuff, most of which we could grow here.
May I just, Steve? I want you to remind Ronnie and myself.
Last comment. Go ahead.
That much of what is happening over there is also happening here.
Yeah, but
the reason why products in Jamaica are so high now is because it has not been.
May I just quickly answer the plan, though?
Last word. Go ahead.
Based on what we've seen, the plan is to import from other countries, like they are.
Yes.
To build up other countries.
So that's what we develop them and not us. Steve McDonald, we value the viewpoint that you have, and we value your loyalty and commitment to Jamaica and its economy. Thanks again.
And thanks for having me on. All the best to you guys.
Very well.
Okay,
Steve McDonald of Yard Market in Toronto. Check his website. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Sucum. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. If you hear laughter in my voice, it is because Pernell Charles just accused me, because I'm a white man, of bringing Anansi into this country.
and he asked me, who is brother Tukuma and who is brother Bird?
Hey, Jamaicans in the diaspora, you hear that? Love mercy.
Somebody just asked me why I said that. I said, because Brother Nancy has never lost.
Yes.
Brother Nancy win every story that I get, Brother Nancy.
So white people win every time.
Every win.
I see. All right. And in the United States, because we're following the CNN tracker as we sit in the Bridge studio, New York judge finds Trump and his adult sons committed fraud. And this man is going to be the next president of the United States. My God.
No, Ronnie, you want us to take a bet?
A
religious bet?
A religious bet?
Yes,
because
you're a Catholic, I'm myself.
Yeah, but Catholics are unfortunately...
So we don't have to pay, but we're taking us...
and what is the bet?
Give me another. That Trump will not be able to run another election.
I will bet you on that. I think that he's going to run, and he stands a very good chance of winning. You know why? Because although he is shown to be a disreputable character, yes, he represents the concerns, the worries of a vast swath of American people who are completely turned off by what they see as being the valueless, wokish, to use that term, lifestyle and operation, political operation, personal operation of people in the other people in the United States.
You want me to tell you something?
Yeah.
We can always talk improvement, talk development, talk production, and excite people who would want to get out of that. It is happening right here in Jamaica.
But of course.
It's happening in all parts of the world.
But this is why...
When it comes down to production, We don't have it.
But why? Because we reward other things. We reward the people in this country, as we were just saying, if not in the actual words with Steve McDonald. We reward people who trade in money. There's nothing inherently wrong about trading in money, but that doesn't necessarily produce more goods and services.
But you're saying a nice thing. Let us do that for 10 seconds. How do we move from selling money, buying money and selling money, to improve production of products?
In my view, it takes state activity. It takes state activity based upon a certain ethical and philosophical approach, which we do not have. What we are doing, our governments largely go along with what they think the people want, rather than on what is clearly palpably needed to have an inclusive, sustainable economy.
I sent you a letter from the president of, but he's dead now. I saw Lincoln Hugh.
Yes.
Have you read it?
Don't remind me.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Send it to me again. Yes.
Because he had the same thing. He took a flight from
Lee Kuan Yew. Singapore.
To Canada, from Singapore.
Yeah.
A commercial flight.
Yeah.
And to a meeting in Canada. And while he was sitting there, several of the people from poor country were arriving in private jets.
Yeah. The man is absent. So what are we doing here? We have a situation now. Look at, I like to be granular. Yes? On the way here to the station today, we're in a long line of traffic. And that's nice. Okay? That's not nice. That is difficult for anybody. Wasting time. I wondered if I would get here in time. All right? And suddenly I hear a police siren behind me. And I see one car. I don't know who is in it. You can't see inside the car. And two cars following. So it's some minister of government. But they break the line. Yeah?
No, they don't break the line.
What them do?
The police is leading them.
Yeah. For what?
To a meeting.
To a meeting.
Is important on behalf of the country.
So they have a right to exempt the law because of their meeting? But I have to follow the law in order to get here to dialogue with you.
Did you see it?
Never when I was a minister would I do something like that.
No, you wouldn't do it, but your site is happening in Canada. It's happening all around the world with diplomats.
No business with that. I want us to be different. I want us to be moral.
Oh, so get up early then.
Get up early, and if you understand what ordinary people live with, then maybe you would use your power to do something about it.
All right, let me give you a joke because I gave my wife today.
No, you agree with me.
I was on the road.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, bumper to bumper.
Yes, sir.
From downtown to uptown and beyond.
Yes, sir.
And these are people supposed to go to work at 8:30.
Yes, sir.
There's nobody can reach you before 10 o'clock.
But so minister exempt from that.
Hold on.
Go with it. Too bossy.
4:30.
Yeah.
It's bumper to bumper.
The other way.
The other way.
Yes, sir.
Instead of going to pick up children.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're a production man.
Yes, sir.
They reach work at 10 o'clock. They have lunch period.
Right.
And they leave to the back on the road by 3:30. What you're talking about? What is the production
their
target?
Output is going to be low.
What is the production target?
Yeah.
So I gave a lady a joke yesterday. I just gave it a wife today. Because I had the same experience you had.
Yeah.
Traveling at about 5 miles an hour uptown.
Right.
And the woman was there. I don't think she had any air conditioner because she was wiping her face.
Yeah.
And I said, blame on Jonas.
You?
Yes.
Said that?
Yes.
My goodness.
I say, he expand Barbican Road by 2 lane.
Yeah.
It full up in car in 1 year. You go down to Mark. In other words,
what is the point?
The man make everybody can buy a car.
No. Is that a good thing?
More women are driving car in Jamaica than ever in the history of Jamaica.
But you think that's good, and that's not good.
Well, okay. So I said that to a man. I said, look, man, when I was minister, I wanted to go on a street where 5 people live with cars, and each of them
share.
Was driving out single.
Yeah.
So it's 5 cars with 5 persons. When one car could carry the 5 and 4 leave.
Yeah.
Man asked me if my wife don't have a car.
Yes, that's true. So you can always defeat the point, but the point nonetheless remains pristine and correct and truthful that Jamaica cannot afford the amount of cars that it is bringing in, and
it's still coming.
And it's still coming in, and the government is doing nothing about it, and there is no groundswell to recognize that we are contributing to climate change. We are contributing to our own impoverishment, and we think that we are stush and nice and convenient, which we are in the short run while we do that. And so we end up with the aberration of those with power being able to exempt themselves. Who are those with power? Certainly politicians. The police now have, wherever they go, they just turn on the siren, and of course they must get the first thing.
Come out of the road, give them pass.
Whether they're going to catch criminal or whether they're going to carry their baby mother home. Yes. and the taxi man.
Right.
No, the taxi man is the biggest one, because he's a law unto himself, and you can't trouble him more or so, because who owned the taxi? Who gave her the taxi? And
Randy,
listen, I know what I'm talking about.
You only have 60
Honorable
politicians. You only have 60 politicians.
No,
so you cannot. And each of them have 40 cars?
No, I'm not saying that. No. Police own wholly for them. People of influence own wholly for them. Yes? Oh, yes.
You know what? You know who own and you don't know?
Who?
Civil servants.
Absolutely, sir.
I am shocked.
No, Mike Henry tell me that his problem was a driver who would take a car, yes, and drop him to work and say, soon come back, sir. And run and come back, make $4,000 before lunchtime.
A taxi?
Yes. Sit with him car.
With his car?
Yes, sir.
I see the way we about it. If Mr. Christie wanted to be in trouble.
No, Mike told me that. No, in those circumstances, we have used freedom, yes, to defy order. Order does not involve despotism. It doesn't involve crushing initiative. What it does is to make space for opportunity. And what we have done is to have a wrong notion of opportunity. And the problem is that we are continuing with it, even though we know we can't afford it.
But Randy, tell me something. And I tell you, I was frightened when I went to Coronation Market this week, and take a look at what product is being sold for.
So I'm asking.
So your central people can't buy it.
No.
You can buy cabbage for $4 a pound.
No,
for $100 a pound.
And it's plenty of them people, plenty of those people, honorable people who still maintain their faith and make sure they share out something for everybody who is in need. Yes, what they do on a Sunday day, some of those women there, is a multiplication of loaves and fishes. And what they used to do is a little cabbage and chicken back and plenty ketchup.
I enjoy them.
Yes, sir. And now it's $400+ a pound. What them go do?
No, but hold on.
Yeah, and your claps about prosperity.
Hold on, but you don't understand. You don't understand. You can also take advantage of the prosperity.
Yes, sir.
Some people are prospering.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Are the right people prospering?
There's an article in the Gleaner today about the financial, no, it's an observer, for the financial community being unsettled by the long time it is taking to settle the compensation of the two gentlemen from National Commercial Bank who have a dispute with Mr. Chinley. And who don't,
because they want that money to come back to.
So the elephants are having a war, yes, and the cockroach on the ground, yes, can't buy cabbage. Oh my God! And that is this.
Don't talk about the me.
Yes, the society. No,
I went down there, and I tell you, I used to buy $1,000 of cabbage. Yeah. And the man said, boss man, $1,000 can only buy one.
Buy one cabbage.
2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
And one cabbage weighs 3 pounds.
Yes, sir.
But then the man said to me, and a Jamaica cabbage, that's no boss.
Look at that now. So now we are import cabbage into Jamaica. We are send to Dominican Republic and buy avocado pear. Shame! Jamaica, do better than that.
Yeah, but...
And any politics, any economics will not support local upliftment. Yes? We're not into that.
But
Jamaican diaspora must help us to vank that. That is Babylon.
Let me ask you something. Who should you be shouting at now to go and invest in these food?
Anybody who want to eat.
No. Not the politician.
No? Why? Look at what
who should be producing?
If the financial sector is starving, if the people need to be inside.
Is the financial sector starving?
I'm sorry.
Have you seen the report
No.
of how much money they made?
I misspoke. If the financial sector is starving, the agricultural sector.
Okay, yeah.
If there is insufficient research and development, yes. If there is no agricultural marketing corporation, which you say you want to sell out, my God, yes, to store people's goods. This is a state activity. I'm a statist, you know. I believe in this. The state must be proactive. The kind of state we are getting now is not proactive in favor of progress. It is proactive in favor of repression.
Are you suggesting that you're a socialist?
Yes, sir.
You're a socialist.
Yes, I am.
And I am a what?
I don't know. You actually are closer, more of a socialist. No, this is true.
I'm sure my friend up at Reddy's going to back me up to say, as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, but you defend poor people's interests, which is the essence of socialism.
And it has been my profession for 41
so let
years.
Let me ask you now again. We're going to prophesy today. I have a particular grouse. It was announced 2 weeks ago that a company called Carreras in Jamaica is looking towards, it was a business article, they're looking towards doing very well because they are going to be introducing something called vape.
What?
Yes, vape is something where it's not
your nose.
Yeah, or your succotaine, the one you sting, but the nicotine you get, okay?
So it's a substitute for ganja?
No, it's a substitute for cigarette.
Oh, cigarette.
So,
but don't ganja give you the same sort of thing?
I don't know. I never use ganja, sir.
Yeah, but you studied.
I studied.
So I'm asking you not put you on the spot, you know.
You can put me on the spot. I don't believe the criminal law can always be the vehicle used to change personal behavior. But
Moti just say I must come out of there. Moti say I must make you talk.
Moti. Anyway, the point is that there is this company, yes, looking to increase their profits, yes, through this broadening of their product base, yeah. Whereas the Minister of Health is saying to us, look here, tobacco addiction is one of the major non-communicative causes of death, destruction in the society, costing the country, costing individuals, okay?
No hospital space, not enough nurses, not enough doctors.
And that people in this country, school children, yes, are being the ones who are initiated into tobacco or nicotine addiction. And I commend Dr. Tufton. I was involved in that struggle with Dr. Fenton Ferguson and others, Dr. Hagley, for many years. But Jamaica still does not have the comprehensive anti-tobacco law that our convention, our accession to the convention, 10 years and more now, obliged us to do. So we are pussyfooting around that. While, do you know who not pussyfooting? The company that is killing Jamaica people. With their products.
And making the money.
And your big money, one of the biggest dividend. And I'm talking about Broad on the Bridge, 99. Make them sue me.
When they put out their balance sheet.
Yes, sir. Good, you see?
Kiss my neck.
Yes, and that is what. But Pernell, where you and I, coming from different political directions, have no difficulty understanding this and understanding what needs to be done. We need to depress, in my view, abolish tobacco, because it does nothing but kill you. It is the only product that diminishes your humanity and kills you in the way that it does.
Hold on, the man's calling me. Yes, he said I must ask you, what about ganja?
Look here, I would argue the same thing. Yes, anything that is going to cause a deterrence to your health yes, ought to be discouraged, whether it is tobacco or ganja. But here you have a strong, that I'm conscious of this strong cultural connections of ganja. I'm also very conscious that there are medicinal uses. I'm also conscious there are no medicinal uses for tobacco, sir. None at all.
So in other words,
only destruction.
A lot of these products have a good and bad.
You tell me the good about tobacco.
No. I'm getting there.
Okay.
No, because I have not studied it.
Yeah.
You must advise me.
Yeah.
What good is tobacco?
Yeah.
Why it is such a major industrial product in Jamaica?
Dirty up your lungs. Yes, and play upon the addiction, the addictive tendencies in people's minds.
But I think you came out to support Dr. Tufkan and this ban on cigarette.
Long ago, but he don't go as far as I want him to go. If I would want him to press forward for that law to prevent to depress as far as possible the use of tobacco. Instead, what is happening is that more and more of our young people, because of misinformation and because of ignorance and because of follow fashion, are falling into that habit. I admire the Seventh-day Adventist Church, yes, which speaks against the use of those substances.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate that my mother put it this way, ban us in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So liquor was banned, cigarette banned, right?
Yeah.
All night, dollars and oats, it's coming at 12 o'clock, ban.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And then I get a chance to go to a little school called West Indian Training College.
To your benefit.
And my Lord.
So where we don't emphasize those things, then we would have less of the people who were being sentenced on Monday, the one order gang.
Yeah, but as an attorney,
that they come out of.
I need to attack you though.
On what?
Have you heard this man making his presentation in Parliament in
the court? I've read it. Yes.
Have you heard the difference between what he told his lawyers to said earlier?
No, I didn't hear that.
Well, what did the lawyer say to the judge? That that this man is guilty?
No.
Didn't the lawyers saying that all of what the police bring come there is false?
Okay, no, I understand what you're saying. No, he pleaded not guilty, but now in his mitigation, he's acknowledging his guilt.
Are you sending him the Bible?
No, but I'm willing to say that it is a duty of a lawyer to put forward the instructions of your client to the best of your ability. That is your duty.
Hold on, we're going to discuss that after the year because it is not possible for me and you to share the same mic and to agree with that.
So what the lawyer must...
You have to stay over that side and stay over this side.
No. But so what the lawyer must say is that if the client tells him that this is the case that he wants to put forward, the lawyer must say, "You are a damn liar. I will not represent you."
No. But you're bringing something that we need to discuss. When a man come to you and say, "Mr. Tweet, listen, man, the man in the bottom and kill him, you know. And why you represent me?" No, I'm not using you because I know you're upset to them. I can't represent you. Right? When those men go to the lawyers of Jamaica and admit that they have done that, why the lawyers go in court and present them as innocent babies born last night?
No, first of all, if they present them as innocent babies, then they ought not to. I do not know that is the case. What I know is that there are many defenses to murder. Yes? There are many defenses.
So you go and defend him and why he murder?
Provocation, self-defense, for example. You would accept those. Yes? But what you must do is you're not to advance something that you know is not true. But you are obliged to follow your client's instructions on a particular line. And if you can't do so, if that leads you into suggesting something which you know to be untrue, then you withdraw.
So even though this man who is now talking to the judge, did you hear what his lawyer told the judge when he was representing him?
I imagine that he told the judge that he was not responsible for this. In our legal system, it is a responsibility of the prosecution to make the case. It is not the responsibility of the defense to admit the case.
All right. Okay. Let me throw one at you.
But this is what the man is saying is of more importance, which we'll talk about after the break. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. We're going to take the caller in a minute, but Mr. Charles, you realize when you see what Mr. Trump is more than accused, it is now accepted by a court that he done, and you compare that with what Marissa do. It don't make sense.
No, you can't compare it with Marissa.
Why?
Because Marissa, what part of what Marissa?
What I'm pointing out is that she has had a penalty. She has had an outcome where Jamaican laws has caused a certain course for her to be taken.
And she quit.
Yes. Whereas this man, no. Yes? This man people are cheering him on every time the judge says something against him or any case bring. Them say, oh boy, is more of a saint.
So whereas Marissa quit and gone, him is quit and come.
Yeah. Well, you tell me about the morality of that. Caller, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Nice to have you. Thanks very much for your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Even Mr. Tate.
Yes, sir.
Even Mr. Charles.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
East Central.
East Central, good.
Yeah. Former education minister we are joining with today. We're joining with a former member of parliament who used to be Speaker of the House.
Can you imagine?
So we are here to ask them questions in relation to the recent incident about the Speaker and matters surrounding her. But let me go through some report before we started that. The chairman of the Integrity Commissioner, Mr. Justice Seymour Panton, in his remarks accompanying the annual report, made some strong observations, and we think we should take some time going through some of those.
What he said?
Yeah. What is happening in Parliament in recent time indicates that there is a constant attack by some parliamentarians and the institution, that's the Integrity Commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
As it is there, is a desire by them for the institution to be frozen or demolished by fear. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I'm going to. You want to go first, Bernard?
No, well, first thing I said, there are 63 parliamentarians.
Yeah.
Forget the PNP and JP, parliamentarians.
Yeah.
And you say that two or three of them
No, I didn't say that.
are.
I didn't name any numbers.
What he's saying is that that Panton, Mr. Justice Panton, has complained that there are members of Parliament who
I know, but I am putting down that there are not more than two or three
who are
members
who
in
are
Parliament of the
undermining
63 who say anything that could be said against the
Integrity Commission,
Integrity Commission.
except that when Warmington spoke and when Chuck spoke and Montague spoke, the rest of the people on the JLP said clap. What them clap for?
Some have to clap because they have to clap.
Caller, I have nothing to say.
I do understand the point you're making.
Yes. Go ahead, caller.
He continued. The Commissioner has made submission to improve to the legislation, and those submission and suggestion has not been addressed.
Not yet.
Instead, at the top of the parliamentary agenda, it's the Oversight Committee. There is some elements as to move a key witness, and that's the Auditor General. And he said it seems surprising to me and other commission and staff of commission and even public officials. And he's saying that there is a good reason why the Auditor General has been there, and the Auditor General has been placed over a decade here to deal with public officials and parliamentarians who probably have stepped out of line or to get them in line. So those are some good suggestions, you know.
They are. And I don't think any move to move the Auditor General off the Integrity Committee is not going to work, because she's properly that officer is properly there because their purview is integrally connected with the proof and the collection of evidence and information with respect to the integrity of members. But what surprised me?
Put it further.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's not members alone that the Integrity Commission
No,
is.
it's broad public service.
Exactly.
Yes.
And there are hundreds of public servants.
Yes.
Now, concentration, even from the committee, is on the 63 parliamentarians.
We don't know that.
What do you mean?
I don't think, certainly those are the ones that the media puts forward for obvious reasons.
My correction then, right?
Yes.
Correction, right? Whatever is coming, what is being exposed on television and radio is just those who are in parliament.
Well, and well, that is, yes.
And you were a minister.
Yeah.
I was a minister.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if there's anybody in Jamaica, dead or alive, who can say they have a supernal charge, write a check.
Yeah.
As a government minister.
Which, of course, is not the only test, but that's a very important one. And nobody can do that.
You never write check either?
No, neither, but that is not the only thing they use, write check, to test your integrity. Who you push to give contract to and all the other things are material to. But the critical thing, caller, for me, was after those efforts, in my view, cowardly efforts to criticize the Integrity Commission, the Prime Minister himself said, "Stop the cas." But it not stop.
But the thing what I'm looking over now is the government who set up the Integrities Commissioner, and the Integrities Commissioner might report to the Parliament. So in terms of having these words of war between each other, and they are professionals in terms of their work conducting the way forward. In terms of that now, people like me who I think is an unprofessional, or other people who consider themselves unprofessional, are now looking at them and say, this not up enough.
What doesn't add up?
In terms of the behavior, war of words.
Oh, yes. No, certainly. I accept that. No, that does not mean that the Integrity Commission is beyond criticism. But there is the substance of it is simply not there. I haven't heard anything that has persuaded me that the Integrity Commission is corrupt. And therefore, the criticism against them, particularly when they will not reply in terms, they can't get up and broad out like some other people will.
You know,
it's unfair.
You know, that is why I am privileged to sit beside you.
Why is that so?
No, because not all of us, including me sometimes, are not as fair in my presentation, non-political, non-partisan. You know, my problem with the Integrity Commission was because what they did to the Prime Minister could have killed the government and killed the country.
Okay.
And nobody come out and say, stop it.
Well,
and this one now, right? Well, you can't blame them on this.
And this one now.
Hold on, let's call it 1 second.
Yeah.
I was Speaker of the House, and I have on several occasions received letters from the Integrity Commission concerning members of Parliament who have not answered their letter. The letter which indicate to them they want to speak to them about a matter that is inconclusive. And I call in those members to my office and say, I received this letter, go to the Integrity Commission now and straighten the matter out. And the Integrity Commission secretary would call me and say, thank you, because we've been trying to get them for months and they have no come.
But that's the right rule.
No.
You have done the rule, right? Somebody should do that for the Prime Minister right now. You know his records are not certified.
Well, the Prime Minister must have a reason why I'm not certified.
No, but the public don't know, and it's a matter of public concern.
No, but you must say, you can say.
I have every good reason, every faith in him, you know.
Yeah, but you must say why I'm doing.
Why?
I'm not saying. I
No,
don't know
but he
that.
must say.
Yeah, I say he
must say.
Yeah, but because
But
you can't say the Prime don't do it.
The public, but the public must have a disquiet.
Yeah, well, as Prime Minister,
Yeah.
he has a responsibility to me and you, to the public, whether PNP or JNP.
Sure.
So, and you want to know. And I wouldn't mind hearing either.
Time come. Call up.
You see how this man come up promote PNP on the program.
I use the English language.
But
I tell you.
Make your point, caller.
Yeah, but in terms of that now, he had spoke to his role as a minister, where someone could have looked at him and see that they had seen honesty, dignity, and integrity.
Yes.
So I am just asking me now if it is, you can look at this recent speaker and say that,
Yeah.
although she make a genuine error.
Yeah. I would like to say I can. I am of that view. I may not have agreed with all of the, as far as I followed it, because I'm not a member of parliament anymore and wouldn't have been following every sitting.
Some pieces.
Yes, but I have a respect for Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert, but she badly mishandled something that could have been dealt with in a different way, and which would have deserved to have been dealt with in a different way. Yes, what has happened did not deserve to happen, and it was unfortunately she or whoever coaxed her, pushed her, whatever, I do not know, created something more than or something different.
You want me to help you?
Please do.
I personally believe that the matter could have been handled more differently.
Clearly.
On both sides. Both parliamentarians and she.
Yes.
I had that problem.
Did you?
You remember when they brought a resolution against me under a subsection of the standing order which was wrong. And I refused it.
Yeah.
I called in the opposition spokesman and he agreed with me that I was right.
Yeah.
And they withdrew it.
Well, that's the right way to do things.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's a right way and a wrong way in doing. Sometimes you get.
So my question, caller, is last week Tuesday, when it was clearly inappropriate for Mrs. Philibert to have taken the stand as she did and to say what she did about a matter concerning herself. She was getting big ups and claps and forward from her colleagues. Why? How you do that? When you have people like Nigel Clark and Delroy Chuck, intelligent men, and I'm singling them out because I know them and I have respect for them, and they are supporting something that is clearly can't wash. Anybody with, you don't have to have no big degree to know that is not going to wash, and them are the one. Included those who are do that? No, man.
Right. You want me to help you?
Help me again, man.
I think that Delroy, yourself, and
Nigel.
And Archie Rhodes Skull.
Yeah. But
Archie Rhodes Skull.
You're supposed to have sense.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Yeah. So in terms of that, the decision, what comes across her is in terms of failure to provide accurate information to the commissioner. Is that what main cause will make this applicable?
Yes, that's what they say.
But Ronnie, let me ask.
We're not going to try this case on her case.
No, we're not trying it. We're not subject to the case. No, we're not with that.
You're giving the information, and that is what we have heard so far.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
She has replied. She has resigned as Speaker of the House and as Member of Parliament. Who does she resign to as Member of Parliament?
She resigns to the Speaker.
To the Speaker? Who?
Well, that's a problem.
So, hold on. This is important
to the Speaker.
Because I noticed that the PNP is saying, if you go to a by-election now, we're not going to contest it.
Really?
No, man. But
really? The PNP have said that?
You're young in politics, man. I've been there for a long time. They wouldn't contest that. Not contest that. They'll now bring in to say, if you're going to have a by-election, then you have to have a by-election for all the parish councillors plus that.
So
in other words, you're going to bring in something to prevent it from happening because you don't want them to go down and she have a good seat,
But
very strong
seat. I would expect that the Labour Party would keep that seat, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't, because that is the case.
You feel they shouldn't have a by-election?
They should.
No?
Yes.
Even before others?
If a seat is vacant and the people are to be represented, caller, then if the seat is vacated, then there must be a by-election, whether it is councillor or MP, whether it is a safe seat or marginal seat. It must happen.
But they are going to say, Ronnie, if you're going to have Ms. Philibert's seat, no, then you have to have all the by-election for the parish councillors who have been out.
But I would agree with that position.
Before
But
February?
I would agree with the position. If there's an imminent date for a general municipal elections, you might say that you wouldn't interpose a by-election for the council seats before then.
Yeah.
That would be worth arguing. But the principle behind
And
it
since
all,
you know you're not going, you would use that to back out.
well, you see, I'm not involved in those gymnastics. What I'm involved in is
No,
the
no.
principle.
That's what I like, you know. You're not, you can't.
Sir,
Yes,
It's a principle of representation.
Tina Charles, Mr. Rani,
Yeah.
there is an independent councillor that runs and wins in the last election. I hear him spoke on the behalf of his constituency, which is up by South Lawn.
You mean Mr. Pat Moore?
I don't know him,
Yes.
but
Okay, I think that's the
But
one.
how Pat was a Labour red came to PNP?
no, he's an independent candidate, runs and wins.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Okay. I didn't know you were still there. Yes.
Yeah, so in terms of that now, I hear you say you made mention about she shouldn't be sitting in the recent 2 days ago where she knows she was involved in certain incident, but the Justice Seymour Panton did copy a letter to the clerk and to the deputy speaker, so in terms of that now, would she sit in and those letters did copy?
Mistake.
So you said that was an honest mistake?
I can't tell whether I obviously would like to think so, but I don't know. It was just a mistake that was made.
It's a bad patch.
Yeah.
But I ask her the question, who does she send her?
Technically, she has to whoever is the Speaker of the House.
Okay. Do they have to accept it?
Do they have to?
Yes.
I would.
In other words, can they call her in and say, we do not think it should
I don't think so. She has expressed a desire that it is not.
Our constituency has expressed a complete desire.
Yeah, but that's
she represents thousands of people.
Yeah, but the Speaker has no right to interpose
and I talk
himself.
about Speaker now.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about the Member of Parliament who...
Listen, the lady won't come out of it. She's badly bruised. Make her come out.
Maybe her husband wants to say, let's leave it and come.
Sure. And you would understand that. But so the thing I can't understand.
But your party is saying that they didn't want her to go as MP.
I'm really not concerned with that. She has made a decision in 2002. I made a decision.
That's why we are going to be here next week.
Yes, but caller, the Prime Minister must have known what was going to happen last Tuesday.
No.
Well, based on the recent investigation from the Integrity Commission.
You mean the Deputy Speaker got the letter from the Integrity Commission, as Mr. Panton says, and Mrs. Holness never tell her husband?
Oh, well...
Oh, you mean? Come now. Come now.
That wouldn't be against her marriage.
Something
to be against
her parliamentarian either.
Sure.
As Speaker of the
Come
House.
on, Purnell.
Are you suggesting that everything is happening in the cabinet, the Prime Minister tell her?
No, but I'm
But then why everything as Speaker should tell
because it goes to the integrity of the party that they're both party of.
Oh, it's a party business.
But clearly, this is something that's affecting the very credibility of the government. And he must know what was his view. Why doesn't he come and tell us? Listen now, I advised. My advice wasn't taken, or I thought this was the best way, or I thought that.
Or my advice has been taken.
Yes, but we expect that if we look here, we really want to trust you,
Yeah, but Ronnie, you want us to be like angels.
No, indeed. Yes, because
you
you say you are.
You say we are angels?
You say you are.
I would love to be like, but it not to me is.
What? Caller, make your point.
All the things I've known about her, she's a MP because she has been running and winning for the past 10, 15 years. So she's a good MP so far. But apart from that, calls can be made, but we need to correct them at the earliest mistake.
Yeah, early stage. Yes. Well, I think we've learned a lesson, and I'm hoping that we will not walk that road again. I think this particular lady has been a casualty, has fallen on her own sword in a sense, is very, very unfortunate,
But without not naming any, it's 13 out of 84.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So probably more names are when they done the investigation, more people will be brought into book.
But the Integrity Commission has already said that there are 6 parliamentarians. So
Yeah.
who are they? And why?
No, when you done the investigation, you can name them. Without naming.
The Integrity Commission say more than that. That there are 11 persons.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are only talking about the parliamentarians.
No,
What about the others? Why is a parliamentarian more obligated to answer the Integrity Commission than the other people?
There are
There are very good
28
reason for
public
that.
officials. There are 28 public officials are being probed or investigated for illicit enrichment, and another 32 has been investigated for providing false information to the commissioner without naming any.
So what I want to hear is, one, how long are the investigations going to take place? Because you can't keep it. It creates a mood of suspicion and embeds cynicism when these matters go on for a long period of time. And I would like the names of the persons as the investigations get to a point.
Not only the politicians.
Everybody.
Exactly. But you guys have only been calling for politicians.
Hold on, sir.
No man.
No, I
not you,
put the
caller.
politicians first.
Okay.
I put the politicians first.
Why?
Because we make laws and we spend the people's money.
Yeah, and that of the money that you spent when you were a minister did not generate through you. Did not negotiate through you.
No, sir. But
you're only a present.
Mr.
here.
P. But I'm still responsible for it.
Yes.
So therefore, the fiduciary duty is at a higher level than the person elsewhere in the public service.
So the father is bigger than the children.
The father has more responsibility than the children, to follow your analogy. Yes, that is no doubt. And we're fooling around this, and then we wonder why people are become cynical, become turned off on the thing, and why something as responsible and good as becoming a republic, yes, Mr. Don Anderson is telling us, is losing support.
Brandy, Mr. Anderson didn't have to tell you that.
But I don't
That
want
mean you didn't listen to me.
No, sir, I listened to you, but
I told you months ago that it will not work.
But then you see, I don't want you to be a Jeremiah. I want you to be a.
I'm not a Jeremiah. I'm Nehemiah.
I want you to be to be an Isaiah. Caller.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you something, caller.
Yeah.
This might sound, I might have to give you a joke to finish it, because if Morty Perkins and Michael and Shara are listening to us, they must laugh today.
Well,
You agree? Morty must chuckle in me. You calling him up his name and speaking like him.
Well, I speak. If I speak like him, it's because
No. But you say what he
there's
says.
a certain principle. I never approved of Mr. Perkins. I felt that he broke down the spirit of this country with his cynicism and his negativism. So I don't. But that he spoke truth and adopted correct principles on many occasions, I would certainly acknowledge that.
Can I have 10 seconds to ask you a question?
Sure.
Why the television stations go out to every part of the country to find out where they don't have water, where there's a problem, and they have never one day say, water that wasn't here is now here.
No, but I think
road that wasn't here is now there.
But on the contrary, I see every place where there's a house where there was none before, the television is showing that. I see water wet up minister when it turn on in such and such a place. But the duty of the media is not to be fettered by making government look good.
You know, that's what you have just said a while ago. I wish to withdraw what I just said.
Yes? Okay.
Because, yes, they have showed us when Mr. Samuda is turning on water.
And the government,
Mr. Mackenzie is turning on water.
The government has radio. It has television.
You don't have to go over
it. has newspaper.
You are right.
Yes.
You are right.
Okay.
You beat me on the last point.
I don't want to do that.
Hello?
A final word from you.
Yeah, man. Mr. Charles, I've been doing some background work on you as a speaker. So the next Wednesday, I will be drilling you as a former speaker, and I am going to also look at the biggest blocker the country. What is 41% in the recent poll, where say they have no interest in voting because the system not working, the system not supporting them.
Yes.
Those are the issues we're going to look at next week Wednesday.
And you will be more than welcome. And when you're making the case about Mr. Charles, you see, I am your first witness.
Okay.
So long as him don't say I must pack my bag and go.
No, Mr. Charles, you're the right way.
So
I don't know what the charge is going to be, but you are his witness, and he is the judge, and he might say,
No.
right, hand down.
Put on the black cap. The caller, thanks so much. You hear? All the best to you.
Have a nice day.
Look forward to hearing
Caller.
from you. And Sir Purnell, thank you so much. We have so much more to talk about. Yes, I enjoyed it today. Thank you so much for your part, and for our listeners, and for all those, Jeffrey particularly, who have made this program possible. We are very, very grateful. You see, if we can, and if all things are well, we'll be back next Wednesday to talk about the affairs of the nation from our two different perspectives, but with a common love for our people and our country. That's the philosophy of the Bridge 99 FM, and we commend you to all the other programs that are forthcoming. Till next week, take care.